Okay, now we're going to do the same drill. We're going to set up though with 3 cones. I just stacked tennis balls out there so you can see where we're running. We're going to use our bucket lid where Caleb's going to kind of set up on. He's going to get a right-left pre-step. He'll be ready to go with his hands up. Usually the thrower or the coach, we want kind of sitting or standing in front, and he's just going to direct the player where to go. So again, we're just working drop steps. When you are catching that ball, try to get it out in front. Don't catch it in behind you or in here. Get your glove out, get space out where you catch the ball. Right foot, straight foot. Left foot. And we're going to be working some more outfield drills. This time we're going to be using a tennis ball. I like using tennis balls for a couple of reasons. One, as the coach, they're a lot easier to hit. It's a lot easier to hit fly balls that way. As a player, they're easier to catch, especially for our younger players. It gives them kind of the confidence that they can get in front of or under that ball. I also like doing tennis balls with bare hands because it teaches soft hands. So first thing we'll do is you're going to have the player stand anywhere between 5 and 15 feet out in front of you. We're going to use the same thing we did in our last video with the drop steps, where I'll go either right hand up or left hand up, signaling which foot to drop step with. Remember, we want to drop step straight back at first, and then we find the ball and adjust to it. Back through it. Good. Get there, come through it. Good. Good. Setting the feet, making a good throw. So this drill gets kind of fun because with the tennis racket, it's easy to hit, easy to control. A lot of the kids love it. You can kind of hit some moon shots, and it really will work on their receiving fly balls. Let's try one. Here we go. Play. So off of that drop step fly ball drill, we're going to work some line drives. The way we're going to do this is we're going to set up in this case we have a bucket lid or a cone a little further out. I'm going to point right or left with my hand or my racket that I'm using and send the player one way or the other. When he's running for that line drive, just make sure he catches it out in front. We don't want to be catching it here. Stick it out in front. So what we're going to do next, Caleb's going to go out there with bare hands. And this is a real good hand drill because you really got to focus on seeing the ball into the glove or into the hand and having soft hands. Now, one important thing to note here is Caleb is a lefty, so he's using his glove hand. A lot of our kids or players are going to have the habit of using their dominant hand or their throwing hand. We want them using their glove hand when they do this. It's a glove hand drill. So one thing I want to point out is when you are going to your backhand side, so if I'm a righty, I'm going to my backhand side, that would be out here. Make sure you're catching that ball, again, out in front. We don't want to get stuck in here. So Caleb, as a lefty, backhand side is going to be over here. He's going to want to catch these over out this way. There you go. So these are probably, these backhand line drives are probably the most difficult ones. If you can get these barehanded, you can probably catch anything. So we just demonstrated doing our fly balls and line drive and drop step work with tennis balls. I'd recommend getting tennis balls. They seem to be a little bit easier to hit and better at focusing on catching properly. Generally, the kids and the players have more fun with them too. You can do it with one tennis ball. If you can go out and get a bucket, that works fine too. This way you can hit them in mass. Just a few reminders on our technique. The number one thing would be make sure those feet are going straight to the baseball. You're not taking a false step forward. You're not running to the side and having to cut back around. We want our feet clearing straight out to where we're running. We want to make sure we catch the ball out in front. Right? We don't want to catch it in here. And then the last thing is we do, after we catch it, we want to make sure we have our legs under us so we can come in and make a good throw. Make sure we're not catching it and falling through. 2 more points with this drill. When we started the drill, we've got cones out that we're running to. I would recommend going about 5 reps to each cone. That gives us a good 15, maybe even 20 reps running side to side and then back to the cone. When we're doing the reps, I'd recommend probably switching it up. Maybe working a rep to the right, a rep to the left, going back to the left. We want to keep the player kind of on his toes and not anticipating where the ball is going to go so much. Again, every time we're going pre-step and reacting to the baseball. We've got to be on the balls of our feet being ready to go. That's it for the day. Thanks for joining us, and please look forward to some future videos.